Welcome to Too Much ColinFurze, where we are digging a secret underground garage in front of my house for my DeLorean. Now then, so far we've dug a massive great hole roughly in front of these two yellow lines here, and in this video we're going to start constructing the metal room of which will be the garage, but I need your feedback. This is the third video on the second channel, but there is a main video on the main channel today of what you've kind of seen up until now. Go and see that if you haven't seen it already, and then let me know, am I getting the vibe of these videos right? Is there enough information left in them? Because there is stuff in that you won't have seen in the previous two. Do you know what I mean? Do they feel like separate videos? Are they all still good? Or is this channel just kind of corrupting the main channel video? Now, thank you all for buying the mining t-shirts. They're off sale now because I'm preparing for Christmas. But if you're still thirsty for a new bit of merch, oh, we've got a new mug, yes! Now that kind of looks like a recognisable logo of a very nice tool brand, but it says milking tea instead, because you know I like my milking tea. If you like your milking tea, you get yourself milking tea mug. Anyway, they're on sale now on the ColinFurzeShop.com, but never mind all that. How are we getting on, Colin? What's the progress? Right then, second channel people. So what we're doing now, come over here. We've put these two poles down here. They have got, down here, they've got this bit of aluminium clamped to it, but up there, you probably can't see it very well, you have to get a shot. There's a bit of metal box section which goes right down the side of the front of the, right down the front of the house. It's held off completely parallel, and then these two beams down here are put down level. So technically, that straight edge there is dead in line with the straight of the house, so we can see the orientation of whatever it needs to be. Now, rather impressively, could blow my own trumpet here, we've measured from the bottom of the floor to this edge here in both sides. That edge is absolutely spot on parallel with the house, down to the millimetre. How we have done that, I can only describe as a complete fluke, but that is good. So that means we can come out here, get to the required space. There's got to be a little bit of an extension on the tunnel. I think it's going to stick forward about 200 mil because this is nearly in line with the house as well, but we've got to come forward a little bit, the thickness of the concrete, what will go in front of the house, come forward and then start to get our room. But now we know that that is completely parallel, and all the measurements we do from this corner and everything going forward, we know is a good complete square. So the only measurement we need now is from that far bit of the house to the road to know how far forward we can go that way, because how we're looking at it now, the further that corner goes there, the closer to my neighbour's boundary it gets. And then because it's on the twist, then if we go too far, when we end up in that corner, we'll end up under the path. So we need to measure that distance, because that's the shortest distance it can be, because this one would be a lot longer. I don't know whether this is going to make any sense, but it makes sense to me, and that's good, because I'm building it. You lot are just watching it. So, right. So now we've done that. Well, that's just blooming good news all round, that is, really. Right, let's get some bits of steel out, bit of flooring down. I think we've got a bit to chimble out in that corner, because there's a bit of a fat bit at the bottom that Tom couldn't, oh, I'm not making any sense this morning, am I? That Tom couldn't quite get to with a digger, so we'll have to do that by hand. So we're not quite finished digging in this little bit here, but of course 2 days with the digger was better than 72 days with my hands. Right, let's do that. That's it there, and when you gravel it right out to the path. And 6, so 614.
615.
615, yeah.
Because you'd look for your concrete edge, didn't it?
It's not bad. Oh no, sorry, because we need 200 mil from that, don't we? Or we took that off. We took it off.
Well, this is from the house, so if you the edge of this will be.
Yeah, so technically.
More like there.
I can't remember what we measured to the path, didn't we? It was 655.
Yeah.
And then we took 200. We took 400 off, basically. 200 in.
Yes.
And 200 in. So that being from the house, this wants to be 635, doesn't it, to this end of it? Now I got it. I got it. And I got it.
And that fits, so I'll do another one the same.
Might be right with just one, Rick. How many bars we've got to bring up to there, haven't we?
We want to come on this, don't we?
Does that look straight on the old fisheye lens? Not bad. I'm in darkness. 850, getting real close, boy, getting real close. 750 there. That's okay, so it is literally just that lump. We're all clean and clear, we're all square, we're all sorted. Floor's as clean as it can be. Just got to clean that edge up a little bit more. Rick's just at the top here, chopping a hole out of our cover so we can get the beams down. Because obviously, to get full lengths in, we need quite a bit of a big old slot to come down. So he's just chopping that out. And we can finally get some steel in about 3 or 4 days later than I expected, because we've had to chop a bit more out. Right. Doing that. Okay, it was frosty this morning, come down here, feels lovely and warm. Now, it did actually rain quite a bit on Friday, and this is what happens when it rains. You get a little bit of blooming stuff that just falls down from the top, so we've got a little bit of tidying up to do. But the floor is coming on nicely. I'll take you through it shortly.
Catch our legs.
Bit of condensation.
A little more action, a little less.
Condensation. More action, a little less condensation, that's it. Come on, come on, come on.
That's the one.
Come on, come on, come on. Okay, got a floor frame. Stuck that down there. That is welded to the tunnel, and it is also fixed to the floor. The reason why we do that is because we're always slightly worried that when you pour all the concrete around the outside of it, the whole thing becomes a boat, starts to lift up. Now, it did that with the bunker slightly, so we had to kind of pour concrete in. We are slightly advantaged here because obviously it's going to be welded to a tunnel which is in the ground, so it might not even do it here. But if it does do it, it does ruin a lot of stuff obviously, because then your floor's not level, whole thing might be a bit twisted. It's generally not a good thing. So, we get concrete lorries that come with 6 cubic metres in, and the only worry I've got now is if we pour all the concrete under and it doesn't fill up underneath the whole floor, we end up with a little bit of a gap. That's not good either, because then when you get the next concrete lorry coming, it won't creep along a tiny little gap. So, put mesh in, and I've sectioned it out. So that bit is a section, that bit will a section, and then this little one I'm standing here will be another one. So we can fill that up, see how much we've used, fill that up, see how much we've used. If we've got any left, then we can decide whether to either top up these 2 sections or go for the middle one and fill that up. There's lots of things you have to think about and worry about with these sorts of things. Right, what we will do next is we will put some sheets down on here. I've got my little fillet bit which goes in there because the tunnel's got to come forward a tiny little bit. So we'll put the sheets down, clamp them down, get them roughly in position, and then we will do our thing again where we do the lining up thing with the house, double check that, because it's like a blooming, it's quite disorientating down here because the house foundation does not nowhere near look in line with this box that we've just done. And I'm wondering whether it's all a bit skew width and then it sort of straightens itself up when it gets to the top. I don't know, so we need to double check that because it just doesn't look right, even though we measured it and this is dead square with where we're going. You don't look like it does. And there we are. So we'll get these sheets, which we've put everything on as usual because you're working on top of yourself. Slide that across there, stick that down there. That's what we're doing next. This bit's kind of annoying really, because all I want to do, I want to get some sheets down, get some walls up. You feel like you're really doing something then, you're achieving something. All these little niggledy bits just seem to take ages and they're just annoying. Now, it's like when you build like a Lego set, like say if you've got the Lego roller coaster, you just want to do the track, don't you? You just want to build the thing tall and put the track on. All the little ticket offices and the little paths and stuff like that. I'm not interested in that, I just want to put the track down. That's what this is like. Anyway, shut up Colin, get on with it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Going back to that shoe situation we had at the beginning of the last video, these were my interim shoes, my tunnelling digging shoes, obviously aren't being used. I could nearly, once we got some steel back down, go to my initial shoes, my house shoes. Because the last thing we want to be doing is clagging mud all around this. No. Oh yes. We've got a lovely floor. Look at that, looks all shiny. Looks a bit like water, doesn't it, through that? Okay, got a nice floor. That's good. Next job, need to put some RSJ beams here. One of these up, 3.5 metres long. It's going to get cut down. I'm going to sit one here, one here. They'll go up the wall, and then there'll either be a long one go across the top that then we'll have a load more go across the ceiling. Because obviously we need to consider the weight of the vehicles that's going to sit on top of it, and also the slab of concrete, you know, until it sets, weighs something as well. So I'm in two minds whether to make the slab like thinner and just let the steel take it, because of course if the concrete slab is too heavy, does that cause problems in its own right? Now if I was an engineer and could do technical calculations, we'd know, but I'm not, so I'm sort of guessing it. But if I think the thing that we made for the van, that obviously didn't, you will know about this now, because by the time this video goes up, the first main channel one would have gone, right? So if you've seen that, we obviously made the raft for the van to sit on while we were supposed to be digging it by hand, but of course we haven't ended up doing that. That, if that was all that was across there, it would be fine. It dipped a little bit. So I do think we want more steel than we do concrete, because I think concrete, being as heavy as it is, might end up being its own enemy. Ooh. And we can make the room taller then, which is going to be good because it won't feel so pokey. But it's definitely not going to feel pokey in here, to be fair. I mean, look at the size of it. And this is like, you know, for those of you that think that the car's going here, the car doesn't go here. The car's going to go over there. This is merely the entrance. So this is 2.5 metres. The whole room, I think, is going to be about 7 or 8. So it's another 3 of these. So definitely not going to feel pokey. It's kind of weird because that's like really big. But why wouldn't you do it the whole of your drive? What's the point of leaving stuff on the table? No, there isn't a point, is there? So let me get that RSJ up. Got to be level, obviously. Wall's going to go up to it. And then we can start building this end wall down here. Oh, it's just progress, people. It's just progress. Right, we're getting there. Got some sheets up. Just need to plasma cut down there. We basically did the two halves so we can slide them over each other to get them in the right place, and then just cut the difference off in the middle. And then also you can make sure that the cut is bang in the middle of the doorway. And then if we stick a bit of beam up there, it can cover the seam up as well, which is quite neat. So got that all set up. Paying extra attention to make sure that it's running parallel with the edge of this sheet, because the edge of this sheet is running parallel to the line which we had, which was running parallel to the house. So this is all took a little bit of sorting out, because obviously if we get this wrong, then the room will face in the wrong direction. So this bit here, it's critical that it is dead in the line that we've set it out, because then when we do this one at right angles, that will obviously then have an effect on that wall, and then the whole room, you know, if we get this bit wrong, we'll end up having to correct it somewhere, and there'll be a little kink in the room somewhere, which you might see or you might not see, but either way, we don't really want to do that. Right, the plasma cut down there. We've got Lincoln coming up soon with a new plasma cutter, because the little tiny one I've got, just a cheap crappy one off the internet, and is not really good for cutting 4mm. I've got a Lincoln one in the main shed, but it's kind of like fitted into the wall, and all the nozzle goes through out to outside. I don't want to keep unplugging that and bring it down here, so they're going to lend me a second one just for doing this. Thank you very much. Excellent. Yasmin from Lincoln Electric dropped me off. What we got? PC 210. That'll do the job. That'll do the job. Yasmin, by the way, is a very good welder. You can check out her stuff. Little link. Boom. You'll be happy with that, won't you?
Yes!
And it wasn't as long as the steel.
This is a logistical nightmare, this is. Lowering these down. Terrifying.
It is.
Are these both the... No, one's long, one's not long.
That's
Do you remember which one? And then I'll wind it back. And then back up. I can't go much, but you know when you wanted it that way. So
Yeah.
I'm driving up the bit. Okay, this back wall here is sort of nearly finished and prepared. We've just got to put the little hoop thing in. It's all cut off at the right height. That's not welded on yet because I'll wait till I've got this one down. That is today's task. I've got this bar down here, which is basically the line of the wall, and all these little tags here. I'm gonna weld them, push them up the back, push them up the back of the bar, weld them on, do. So when I push the sheets up, they don't overshoot and fall down there, because I can tell you that will be a complete nightmare. So you can push them up against something, push them up. I'll probably put some little tags down here, get it level, put an upright up. Battery went, didn't it? Right, what was I saying? Oh yeah, these, I don't even have said that. These tabs up against the back here, when you shove it up, they'll go it up, it won't fall off the back. That is very good. Also need to mark out where all the wall beams are going to go, so they're all equal and symmetrical to each other. Pretty much 600 centres, which is quite good because this is 6 metres. Works out really well. One in the centre, one in the centre, and then it also kind of works out, because obviously if you imagine there's a curve over here, the roof beams going across, you've got your span ones, but then you kind of noggins that go across. They want to line up with the with these, because you don't want them all off centre, because that would look wrong, wouldn't it? And that seems to line up quite well with them, and also where the joins are in the roof sheets. It's quite a lot of things you have to think about going forward, because I didn't used to want to have wall sheet joins behind beams, because if there is any issue with them, you ain't never going to get to them again. So you're not going to take one of these off. They're welded on at the bottom, 3 or 4 points all the way up. You could grind them off, but that's not a nice day. So I've always had them exposed. Like if you come down here, look, there's one there, there's another one there, there's another one there. None of them are behind here. You don't have them behind there, one there, because you just can't get to them. And that's no good. And if they start leaking, well, I don't know. I mean, the bunker's what, 8 years old. It's not leaked once, so it's the first time for everything there, isn't it, Colin? Right, let's get these tabs down. Let's get sorted. Got a wall? Oh, feels good getting a wall up. Slowly the rock disappears and it starts to become a room. Right, we've just got to stitch this big long bit of metal on the top here, but there's some little issues at the top, which I shall show you. Now with the natural flex of the sheet, you end up with gaps. I don't know if you can see it very well on there because this is a bit wide angle. Well, oh, you can see it really well. It's always accentuated near the well because you can't, it moves and you can't really do much about it. Now, we didn't have that problem in the tunnel too much because we had the frame which was coming up the back, which supported the tunnel before we put the metalwork in, and you could clamp stuff to that. You could use that as like a brace, but we don't have that here. So I've made a little wiggle bar, tack weld, push it, pull it, weld it again. Let's see if it works. Let's sit you guys up here somewhere where you can see. Well, I can't see that, look, Colin. That's just the corner. Come here, you lot. Second channel people. Right, I'm gonna guess the shot. What we're looking like. Yeah, you'll see that. Right, I'm giving the other glove off. So at the moment, I'm a bit. You know. What do you? Right, where's my welding mask? Okay. That's what we've got. So, I was trying to think that how I was supposed to use it. Well, tack weld that on there, pull it too. That's the plan. Put your weld in, man. Oh, Colin. Right, I've got a tack on there, that's all good. Right then, my pedigree chums. Here we go. I'll try and do it above where I want the weld. Right. Is it going to break the tack? Oh, no, it's worked. Stitch that there, and then snap that off. That straightened it up pretty much right the way till nearly halfway down. You booty. Right, Colin. Put some stuff down, weld the rest of it up. Oh yeah. That's all tacked up. The old wiggly thing worked well, didn't it? Right, down here. We need to put the RSJs up here, like we have done up there basically, in parallel, because there's going to be two big long beams come straight across and then weld onto the top of them here, and then the roof will support from that as well. But also, I've put these two little funny rods in here. Now all this is just a sort of insurance policy that when we fill this up with concrete, if it tries to float up, they're wedged up under the rock and it will stop it doing it, or hopefully stop it doing it. Right, doing this on your own is quite tricky. I need to lift this up like a smidgen, but of course I can't lift it by dropping it onto screwdrivers, things like that. Nothing works because it just pops out the way. So, back to our little leverage tool again. Put that there. Stick it on there, and now I can, oh yeah. And then I can get the gaps nice and uniform, which I'd say is about there. In fact, it could probably go over that way a little bit. Just a little bit. It's nice to have a gap for welding, but you don't have too big a gap. And you're just blasting all your stuff through the middle. There. Right. And then put a little dot there. Sorted. And snap you off. Excellent. I think we'll leave it there. We've got 3 lovely walls. It's looking fantastic. Now, something else you might be interested in. I like my old BMWs. I've got an old E30 325 iSport. It has featured in a few videos a while back, but not for ages, because it's basically been in the garage for about 6 or 7 years. And there's a YouTube channel called Yorkshire Car Restoration that contacted me and said, Colin, didn't you used to have an E30? And I did. So basically, we've dragged it out the garage. They've taken it off and they're going to go through it all and kind of bring it up to spec. Because on the surface it looks quite good, but there is some funny rust patches in places. So they're going to go through it all. They're going to upload weekly videos of updating me, you know, showing everything, you know, all the holes being fixed and everything. So if you love car restoration, go and check out their channel. They've done other cars. It's all on there. They document everything. If you like this second channel, their videos are very much like this. So go and check that out. Of course, if you want a mug, get a mug from the ColinFurze shop. That's there, milk and tea, beautiful. Right, I'll see you in the next one. Don't really know what I'm doing with these things, you know. I've got way too much going on here. I've got 2 videos to edit and to work out how I'm building this car thing. Not a clue.